Hello, my name is Kim Fee and I'm a UK Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I would like to show you how to make this card. It's using the Country Home photo polymer stamp set. It has 14 stamps and I'm going to be using the stamping blends to colour them in. I've also used the artisan textures and I've used this stamp here just to do the splashes on the back side of the jug of flowers. So let's get started. I started with some Mango Melody cardstock, which for the UK we use A4, and I've cut it at 21 centimetres by 14.8, and I've scored down the middle at 10.5 centimetres. So I'm going to just burnish my score line. There you go. And next I used some rich raspberry just to make it pop. I quite like those colours together. And I've cut this because I'm going to be using the corrugated embossing folder, which is this one here that's in the new winter catalogue, and it's a very, very deep one. It's a dynamic one and it makes it look like the inside of cardboard. It's quite fab. So I played around with it, and my tip for you will be make it slightly longer than you actually want it to be, because when it curls up it really shrinks. So the width of it is fine, but the length of it shrinks. So I'll show you here, so you can see how much it shrunk. About ½ centimetre it's shrunk. Okay, so I run that through my Big Shot, which I'm not going to do it today because I've got a table that wobbles, so I don't want you to be wobbling all over the place. So I run that through the Big Shot and I attached it onto my card front. My card front's a little bit skewy, so I'm just going to straighten it up a little bit. And my tip would be make sure that they're matching edges. Hold it firmly and start in the middle. Oops. And push out either side, and that way you'll get it a little bit where it should be. Okay, so my adhesive of choice is the Tombow, and I'm just going to run a little bit over. I generally wouldn't put this much on because less is more with the Tombow glue, but because it's all upside downy, I want it to lay straight, flat on there. So I'm going to do that at an angle. And hold that down, press firmly. And leave that to dry while I now stamp those gorgeous flowers. So, because it's a photopolymer stamp set, I'm just going to use the piercing mat just to give it a little bit more sturdiness. So I'm going to be using the Memento ink pad because I want to use the stamping blends. I'll try and tap lightly because I don't want you to wiggle. There you go. And then I'm going to ink up those flowers. I'm just going to stand up for this because by eye I just want to, sorry if you've got all my arms in the way. It's not quite on there, but it will do. Let's have a look. The camera was in the way, so I'm not able to get it right back, but I'm not that bothered, to be fair. Because whoever receives it will love it, I know. So I'm going to put that to one side just to dry slightly before I start colouring in. And I'm going to take my next bit of white, which I've cut at 8.5 centimetres by 12 centimetres. And I'm going to be using the Mango Melody. Let's take that away. I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap just so that I don't mess up with the grid paper. Quite juicy ink pad at the minute. Oops. So I'm just going to splash there and there. And I have to say, I'm not quite liking the real orange kind of thing. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to ink it again. I'm going to stamp off. And then it's going to be slightly lighter when I stamp back on. Can you see the difference? Much better. Much better. Let's have a look. Do that again. Stamp off. I'm trying to do it gently so I don't wobble the screen. And I'm going to stamp it again. And I'm happy with that. That's lovely. It's come out just as I wanted it to. Right. Now, I'm going to bring back the other piece. And I'm going to start colouring in. The colours that I've chose to use today, I'm just going to lay them all out on here, just for you to see. And they'll be like Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, Rich Razzleberry. I may or may not throw a Highland Heather in there. The basic grey and the new granite grey. So those will be the ones that I'll be using, and then I'll be using the colour lifter. Let's put all those back in the pot. I'm going to take this off. Right, so I'm going to start using the yellows. Let's have a look. And just colour the bits that you want to. You haven't got to stick to the same colouring when you're colouring. Just slightly on the sections that you wanted. So that was the Daffodil Delight, and this is the light Mango Melody. Just give it a little. I'm just using scribbling motions because when you want to make some of these, you just want to do them quickly, so you don't need to be precise. Oh, and I can see that it's wobbling, so I do apologise. I'll try and go a little bit slower. And I'm going to go back over with the light one and just to blend those in. so there's no harsh lines. There we go. Right, now I know the flowers at the top here are supposed to be white, but I didn't want them white. I wanted them all to match purple. So I was a rebel and decided to do that. As you can see, I'm not colouring all of the flower in. I'm leaving white bits. Because I'm going to be pushing that out. So that was the Highland Heather that I did use. I'm going to go in with the light rich raspberry. I'm wobbling again. And now the dark. I'm going to go back over now, pushing, moving around so it blends a little bit more. I've gone over the edge slightly there, but you know, I'm not going to be bothered about that because I'm going to be cutting it out, so that's fine by me. Okay, so now we're going to be going on to the white bits that I've left. I'm just going to go over, lightly dabbing it here and there. So I was using there the smoky slate, not basic grey, smoky slate, and then the dark one. Just a little dot, and then back in again with a smoky slate. There we go. So that's my flowers done. I'm quite happy with those. So I'm just going to continue now to do the jug. Around the shaded bit there. And that's the light smoky slate. So now the dark. It doesn't matter really what tips that you use, the brush end or the bullet end. I seem to change as I go along. If I want more control of where I'm putting the colour, then I use the bullet end, because the brush end, it does spread out a little bit more. So I'm going to come back in now with the brush end and the lighter grey, and I'm just going to go over in a circular motion so that I can take away those lines, but still have a little bit dark there. Then back in again with the brush, with a darker one. Round where I feel that it would, in the sunlight, go. Have a little bit there so it makes the eye think there's not a gap there between my flowers. back again. And now I'm going to take the colour lifter. I'm going to try my best not to wobble. But I'm just going to push the colours out from that bit because I want it to go lighter, and it mottles as well when you're doing it. You get like little pithy, like on an orange skin sort of kind of effect. And very, 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 very light. I've just gone the other with a bullet end, just to sorry about the noise, but I just want lots of it taken off. I know it seems strange that you put on and then you're taking it all off, but it works. It works well. Go back again with the light. And when you're colouring, it never comes out the same, because the pressures that you're using and maybe the different ways you're colouring will make a difference, but it's handmade and you want them to be different. Right, so I'm going to leave it there now for the basis of the thing. I'm going to take my paper snips, and firstly I'm just going to poke in there to give myself some cutting space for that handle, because I don't want a white bit showing when I lay it down. I want the splashes to come out. I want it to look more real than it is. So I'm just going to gently do that. Take it from underneath because it'll be more sharper. There we go. So now I'm going to go around, and I'm just going to leave just a slight white edge just to make it pop a little. Just be careful with that handle. And just go, keeping your scissors where they are and moving the paper around, or should I say the cardstock. Chop off the big bits as you go along. Gone a little bit quiet now. Just I could have prepared this ahead, but you know, sometimes you get new crafters that have never crafted before, and they do like to see exactly how you got and arrived to that point. I'm going to try and get down there without chopping off that flower. There we go. Chopping off that stem and then back up. I really love this set. So many possibilities with it, so many different colours. You haven't got to stick to the colours that are shown all over. You just pick the colours that you want. If you want to go red and green, you go red and green. If you want to go all blues, you go all blues. It's your card, it's your masterpiece, and you do what you wish. There we go. Let's just get rid of all of that. So there's not much more to do now, but what I do like to do, I don't like it to sit flat, so I just use my bone folder and I start to break underneath it with my thumb. So the heat from your thumb and the pressure from the bone folder will start to break down the fibres, and then that helps it to crease up, and that gives it another more realistic look. And then I just do this, bring back in my paper piercer, and I'll just do this. And if you have an embossing tool, then you can use that. I just like them to have a little bit more texture on it, and it makes them a little bit lifelike. And then just over the top makes it. And I'm sorry I'm wobbling, but it has to be done. There we go. That's it. Right, now I like to put linen thread underneath things. I think it works well in this case. So I'll bring my linen thread and I'll cut a piece. And I'll give you a small tip. If the linen thread's all bent and you don't want it to look bent, it don't bother me a lot of the time. So because in here, this one here, it's bent. But if you get a baby wipe or, you know, a wet cloth, and you just run it through, just put it in between your finger and your thumb, pull it, and magic happens. There you go, look, no creases. Magic happens. So now I'm going to put glue dots at the back. These, I think it works better with the glue dots. I've got something to attach it to, and I'm just going to lay across there, and then I'm going to do figure of 8, so just as if I'm drawing 8. There you go. I might do another little bit actually, because I didn't cut off enough there, I don't think. Normally I keep it on the thing, but I wanted to show you a little trick. Tuck them back because I don't want more than 2 lots of. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Bend that round. I'm just going to lay some dimensionals on. You don't need too many. You just want it to puff round there. I'm going to try to. There you go. So bring back our splattered piece. I'm going to lay that over in the middle where you're happy with it. Can you see now why I cut out the white piece in there? It comes out nicely. And there we go. So now I'm going to bring back my card blank and I'm going to lay it, no, this is the best way to show you, so as if it's going like that. I don't want to lay it like that, I don't want it to be offset, I want it to be sitting like that. Okay, so again, my go-to adhesive choice is the Tombow glue. There we go. Not much more to go. So I have a little bit left over from when I was cutting all the cardstock up to share with you. So I'm going to emboss in white the Happy Harvest Blessing sentiment from the same stamp set. Before I do that, I should just use a little puffer. I just want to, there we go. I'm going to ink it up with Versamark. There we go. Just stamp it. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm going to bring back my piece of scruff paper and throw some white embossing powder over. Gently tap just to get the unwanted pieces away. Yep, I'm very happy with that. Tip that back into your jar. So I'm going to make a bit of noise now. I'm going to heat emboss this and I'm going to do it from underneath because it's white and I don't want to burn it. So I'm going to start from underneath. Till it floods. I'm not sure if you can see it. No, you can't see it. I'm just looking on that. I'm going to do it off screen, I think. And the little bits that haven't taken as yet, I shall just show you how to do it there. Just to give it a little bit more glossy. There you go. Sorry about all that noise. And I did, unfortunately, that we don't have a die for this. I just cut it myself. So I started just along there. I'm not accurate, and you know, it is what it is. I try to get as straight as I can where it's straight. And then up and down. Now where it comes to this bit, just try and go straight across because you just want a little bit extra for your rhinestone. So we're nearly done now. I'm going to use the smaller dimensionals. They cover there, really lovely. Just perfect. I'm not going to put any in the middle because that puffs up anyway. But what I will do, just to keep it puffed up and keep it on, is just add a little bit of Tombow. You don't have to, but if you want to. So that then goes over there. Oh, I can see a little bit poking out. I'm going to pull that off and put another one on. That's better. And just lay it across there. And now you just want to finish it off with some rhinestones. So I've put 3 tiny ones. One up there. One falling down here. And then where I said just make sure you've got another little piece at the end here. Pop one on there. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching. Take care for now. Bye.